Hello my fellow gamers, in this video I'll be talking about the Mythic plus affixes. I rarely do videos that hit on problematic issues on the game because, to be frankly honest, I kind of realized that it is a waste of time to argue with Blizzard when it comes to dealing with issues related to World of Warcraft. But after playing with Thundering for so many weeks, getting bombarded with annoying affix combinations, and massive healing checks combined with the aforementioned, I personally hit my limit. With that being said, let's get into the video. Let's start off with Thundering, the one I have the most issues with. I want to begin by saying that this affix makes no sense when it comes to the past. I'm going to take Shadowlands as an example as that's the most recent one and my memories are still semi-fresh from it. In this expansion we had 4 seasonal affixes: Prideful, Tormented, Encrypted, and Shrouded. If you take a closer look to these affixes, there are common traits between them. When you deal with them, you receive a buff that will help you for a period of time or throughout the dungeon, with the goal of making the dungeon more feasible. All of these were easily able to predict when they will happen or where they are. Coming down to the Thundering, here's where my issue lies. First of all, it's insanely hard, close to impossible, to actually predict where and when it will happen. I know it has a 60-second timer on it, but due to the nature of DPS not being constant, it will be different most of the time at which boss or trash pack it will appear. This means that you simply cannot min-max it or make sure it doesn't happen in the moments where you need to pass a DPS check or a healing check. Combine it with the fact that it can hit in really annoying moments, like when you need to clear the trees during the Laymore boss fight, making the affix basically useless for a while if you are a melee DPS or sometimes a healer, as people need to go in different continents. Or don't get me started when you're a healer, you need to heal during the Hersha bubble, and Thundering decides to appear at your feet when you need to be punted to pass the healing check and so on. Now, what I genuinely believe Blizzard has completely asked bed is how the increased damage and healing works. As I said earlier, during Shadowlands, you dealt with these affixes and you were rewarded. Now in Dragonfight, we'll deal with it and we get punished for it. I just don't get this idea of changing the rules out of thin air, and this affix, if you do decide to not immediately clear it, as it's supposed to, it can happen that at least 2 people will get stunned due to a stupid mechanic overlap or just because the visibility sometimes is just pure garbage. What I want to say, Blizzard, for the love of God, go back to your old philosophy. It was just more fun. I have this feeling that Mythic Plus is not tested sometimes, or the QA team is formed out of multiple NDA winners and I'm not aware of it. The average role player is not that good, and they know it due to them bombarding nerfs left and right every time a new season or raid is released. What is even more is that at this point the community even starts balancing the game for them with the idea of tanks always having the same Thundering symbol. I mean, come on, if this will happen every time, just make the game open source and we will deal with it. When I'm recording this video, the current affixes are Tyrannical, Bursting, and Grievous. Every healer main's favorite affix combination, I am absolutely sure. Listen, I'm in general neutral when it comes to the affixes. I understand both parts in a way. Affixes make the dungeon not be too easy and don't create a crazy inflation of Mythic Plus dungeon levels, but sometimes they also destroy all the joy in World of Warcraft. But more recently, probably due to me getting insanely pissed off at Thundering, I started noticing that yes, some of the affix combinations are pure toxicity served on a silver platter. I never took seriously when people told me they don't play the game during these weeks, but since I'm healing this week, I noticed that I get into whatever key I want simply because I'm the only hero applying sometimes and I force their hand, or else they're going to need to spend another 20 minutes for a lost healer to apply to their key. Alright guys, I kind of feel like playing some Mythic Plus, and I don't know, the affixes are Tyrannical, Bursting, Grievous, and Thundering. I hope this is gonna be a spot for me here, like in this week, because I know it's gonna be a week where a lot of heroes are gonna be looking for some keys. So 16 to 16. Oh, already a pretty good start. I mean, what can I say? Look at this. It has a tank, almost full groups. You're just waiting for a healer. Oh, look at this, man. Look at all those groups with just. What is this street? Is like, what is going on? Okay, so here are the healers, and this is just from the 16 to 16 range. Now, I don't know if it's intended or not, but this has got to stop regardless even if I like getting into whatever key I want. On my druid, I barely notice these affixes in a way, but I assume it's because it is a meta healer. I go on my monk and I feel like I'm losing 3 to 4 kilograms per key. We also had another fan favorite Affix combination of Fortified, Raging, and Quaking, where my tanks were sometimes getting one-shot in random circumstances. I cannot heal them because the damage happened mid-Quaking cast, and I'm forced to sometimes just pray my tank doesn't die. Again, I understand their reasoning as to why they may be still around, but these combinations make the game artificially hard instead of naturally hard. While writing all of this, I realized another thing. I also suspect Blizzard keeps these in to bottleneck us into making 20 plus mobs pulls like before the Algafor Academy 3 boss impossible. And ironically, we will still do it even if we get to 10 plus stacks of bursting because the average World of Warcraft player actually enjoys doing big pulls. Any player who loves Mythic Plus knows what I'm about to say. Big pulls are fun. Sometimes they're stupid and they can wipe a team, but if you combine the next 4 trash packs into one and you make it work, it's an amazing feeling. I'm not sure if it's necessarily a good idea to get rid of punishing affixes, and I think we should first start with another solution, and that is to stop combining these affixes that make me want to open up my game library and complete my backlog. This one, I'm very conflicted in a way. I used to hate it, but more recently it became my preferred affix for a few reasons. The trash packs, during Tyrannical for me, they personally feel fun. They don't one-shot my tank in super stupid ways, they don't punish teams that hard if only one kick is missed, though at 2 or more you will feel that they will still do damage, and most importantly, the game mode feels much more faster due to the mobs dying obviously faster. As you can imagine, the bosses are where the issues happen. Now, the weird feeling that I have is that I enjoyed healing Berelia in Sanguine Depths or Stardama in Playfall. In Dragonflight, I feel like I want to smash my monitor when I need to heal the last boss of Ruby Life Pulse. I'm not even going to try to say that name, by the way. Or healing the Raging Tempest in a Pug with DPS players who get every orb, and I'm forced to pass a healing check at plus 20 with 3 orbs and half mana. What I want to say is that I feel like the Shadowlands bosses were more simple, and because the seasonal affixes buffed us, I suspect this is the reason as to why Tyrannical is trying to beat Electronic Arts in the battle for the most hated thing on this planet during our tenure in Dragonflight. I really don't know what to say exactly related to Tyrannical. There are multiple ways we can tackle this affix, directly and indirectly. Nerfing the bosses, changing the seasonal affix to buff us throughout the dungeon, and so on. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, smash that like button, and if you want me to tackle more of these annoying subjects in the future, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Until the next video, take care.